Hey everyone, welcome to the very first episode of the 3 in 3 Football Podcast. Well, this has been long coming, it's been building up, and we had to get a couple of things sorted. Well, hey, now we're here. And I'm your host today, Marcus. Well, technically, we're all hosts here because this is a 3 in 3 podcast and it's not just one person. It's the three of us from three different clubs, having a chat about what's going on in the football world for this weekend. Yeah, with me, I've got Seth, Manchester United fan. I've got James, Chelsea fan.
Champions of Europe.
Yeah, he never lets us. Yeah. Oh no. I just hope this podcast is not going to be about Champions of Europe.
Well, if we're doing it that way, I'm throwing it out there. I'm the fan of the biggest club in the world. 20 league titles, 3 Champions Leagues. My bollocks are on the table, mate. Let's have it.
Yeah, but then if we put it that way, then
last 10 years.
Who cares about the last 10 years, though?
Listen. Maybe this is why we've got the 3 in 3 podcast, because we've got the champions of the FA Cup here as well. So I think this is the kind of podcast where you're not gonna find a Tottenham fan, if you know what I mean. You know, it's all about the trophies, eh?
I'm definitely not a City fan either. Yeah.
Let's talk about Chelsea. Kick off the podcast with what's been going on with Chelsea, James?
Well, I mean, I think the thing that sums us up as Chelsea is top of the table.
Oh God.
Yeah. I think it's going to be an interesting title race, and I think we're right up there. We're right in amongst the top teams, and actually at the top of the pile, like I said. So I hope go on and win the league and retain the Champions League.
Do you think it's possible though to win the title this year?
Oh yeah, we've got to be. I mean, last season it was optimism. I know Frank, I can't be starting this podcast with Frank slander. No way, guys. Move on. Next person, please.
I will say it.
You know what I was gonna say? I was gonna say this is a podcast where you find out how hard it is to be a pundit. You know.
Chelsea definitely can win the league. I mean, they've shown it, numerous games. Anfield away, that was a really good result. 10 men down. I think they got the red card just before half time as well. So if Reece James, doesn't turn into a goalkeeper at the end there, I think they probably win that game. And 3 points at Anfield that is special. So, but I feel like they're very reliant on Lukaku with goals, and I've got strong opinions on Lukaku. People put him in that world-class bracket, and I don't see it for me. I feel like he's like just a bit of a flat track bully. And
I feel like because people put him in that world-class bracket is the last 2 seasons he had in Italy. And of course, obviously, we watched the Premier League, as our main sort of league. So I feel like the people that have watched him and that are putting him there have watched him over a prolonged period of time and seen him. I mean, his record speaks for itself. He's banging goals.
Yeah. He's a great goal scorer.
I feel like he's proved himself at world level, but now he needs that longevity, that consistency for the next few years to really cement himself up there.
The thing is, though, is that for me, I can easily see Lukaku being shut out of a game, and I don't know whether Mount and Havertz and players like that are. I think they will be. But I think they need to just go up a level or two and step up a bit more and take a bit more responsibility. I know Mount's got the hat-trick at Norwich, but like the Burnley game today. And there's been a few other times where, and I think the system is so good with Tuchel, that defensively they're so sound that it carries them through. But I don't think that'll happen every game. I think there'll be some games where they draw because they just can't get that goal. A bit like last season, and Werner's doesn't score as well. I mean, flipping hell, you know what I mean?
I feel like if you look at this game over the weekend against Burnley, we had so many good chances that we should have scored it. We could have scored 4 or 5.
Yeah,
and that's why we bought the Lukaku in to obviously put those away. But you're right, there needs to be other people stepping up and putting those golden chances in, because with us, even under Frank, there were so many chances created. And ultimately, it got him sacked because nobody could put it in the back of the net.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it comes down to. And there's just tons of chances created. I know the defense was a problem under Frank. and we couldn't lock it down in that sense. But if people had just finished their chances, and with us, it's not even like half chances. It's literally 1-on-1. It's almost on a plate a lot of the time. So
Yeah.
I think, in my opinion, I think it's quite early to even go there yet. This is what I think. I feel.
mean, you asked the question.
Yeah, well, no, well, I mean, I'm gonna chip in as well. Yeah, I mean, I asked the question just to put it on the floor, and then.
Yeah.
Or what I feel it's too early still. I honestly think that the teams like Manchester City and Liverpool still pose a really, really huge threat. It's just a function of they need to get themselves sorted over this first phase of the season. And then,
Do you know what's weird though? Like, I feel like each team has like a really big deficiency. Obviously, they're all great teams, and I think they'll all go far in the Champions League as well. They're some of the best teams in Europe. But like, you look at Liverpool, and today, I mean, they were shoddy at the back against West Ham today. But
I mean,
like,
that they've conceded 3 there with Van Dijk in the team.
with Van Dijk, yeah.
So,
But I just feel like them players are going to tire out because there's going to be so many games, and who are they bringing on? Like City, for example, have like 50 million forwards, right? And I know they don't have like a striker that scores goals, right? But they've got a lot of players that chip in with goals, and Chelsea have a big team. And I feel like Liverpool, they're one injury away or to a Van Dijk or to a Salah where the season's crippled. And if any of them players drop form, they're in big danger. And City don't have that guy that can just put the ball in the net. You know who they needed? Ronaldo. That's literally, if they had Ronaldo, if they got Ronaldo in that summer, the league's done, the Champions League's done, everything's done.
I mean, you just look at what Ronaldo's doing at Man United. Any scraps he get, that ball is going in the back of the net. He'll get one chance and he'll put that in, and it'll be a half chance as well. That guy's unbelievable, especially in the air. In the air, he's just. There's nobody in world football that I've ever seen who's that influential in the air. I mean, he's influential everywhere, but in the air, he's unbelievable.
You saw Atalanta, didn't he? He didn't have a sniff. He had 2 chances. One was a good chance. It was brilliant from Bruno. But like that volley, that wasn't even half a chance. That was nothing.
Yeah.
So like,
he made it look easy as well.
Yeah. The way he just, it was just beautiful, that.
Right. We're going to now talk about the Arsenal resurgence.
Ooh.
Oh, wait, I've got a question.
I think resurgence is a strong word.
It's
November.
Listen. If you say resurgence is a strong word, you need to look at the table. You know, from the bottom of the league to the 5th in the league. You know.
Yeah.
So you probably want to have a look at that.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to start by talking about somebody. Yeah, but still, yes, we know next weekend is coming, and we're facing Liverpool. But if you look at the league right now, there's a certain team that is.
Oh God, here we go.
That is slightly behind, below us now on the table. You know, let's not
just slightly, and look how bad we've been. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, the 2 TPs battling it out.
we're not gonna go into that yet, but there's just something I wanted to say. Like, did you guys watch the match the Arsenal play?
Watford, I watched it.
I would say this. Fantastic game, but there was a big problem in that match.
I mean, we could be here all night.
What do you think the biggest problem was in that match?
Aubameyang's a fraud.
Aubameyang was playing literally against us in that match, and I'm not
literally.
Oh my God. Aubameyang was playing against Arsenal in that match. It's
so bad. And it's not even just the pen as well. The pen was horrific. It was awful, right? But just his general play was just horrendous.
Yeah, like the pen was. I mean, come on, Aubameyang takes penalty, but he tried to play it. I don't know if he was playing it to the left or if he was trying to play it in the middle, but he just kicked the ball and just like, here, have it. Do you know what I mean? And then let's go further and talk about the fact that the ball was going into the net.
With Odegaard, yeah. And he just jacked it. He was literally on the line. He tapped it in and he was offside. It reminded me of, do you remember that goal that Ronaldo scored?
Yeah. Ronaldo and
Portugal. Nani. Yeah. Oh my God, it was horrendous.
It would have been so painful if we didn't get the win in that match because.
And there was another one as well, actually, when when Saka scored, but got disallowed.
Yeah,
he just took that donkey touch. He could have just finished it himself.
It was a bad touch. That he should have scored there. So it's like three things he did. he missed that chance. Like the first touch was just awful, reminiscent of Lukaku.
Lukaku, yeah, I was just about to say Lukaku.
And then he lost the penalty, yeah, and then he capped it off by literally preventing a goal for the opponent. Do you know what I mean? So in that game, I think that's the only thing that I can say about him.
Yeah, but what has happened to Aubameyang? Where is it all going?
To be fair, I think he's been a lot better this season.
He signed that new contract, it went downhill. I don't know what they put in the contract, what kind of clauses are in that thing, but that guy's been horrendous.
I think he's been a lot better this season though than he was last season.
I think he's
but he's not at the levels which you expect Aubameyang to be.
Yeah, but he is like what? He's like 32, 33 now.
Yeah, it's probably something that region. What I think is a case of
Arsenal
the team was not the team was not playing well until now. So if you notice, he's starting to get goals in this season a bit more than he was last season. But it's a function of the team was so bad. This team was so bad, like nothing could save the team. We're about to stretch into United just now. Like this, the other day when you guys were playing, I said the match you guys played, which United played against City, was reminiscent of what Arsenal used to play. It's like so pathetic. Like you're just waiting on one person to help you out. And that was just exactly what I saw in that match. I'm like, listen, literally, if Ronaldo doesn't get up the pitch and put the ball in the back of the net, there's nothing going to happen. But then it gets to a point whereby Ronaldo becomes a normal being like the other guys. And then that's when it goes really bad.
That's very strange, though, because last year they didn't have that bailout one person. So, I mean, they had Bruno, actually. They did have that
we had Bruno.
Person. But it wasn't to the extent of this season.
But you know the difference with this season, though? There's a few things, and I don't want to jump to United straight away because I feel like there's more to say about Arsenal. But last season, because the reputation of the team, not the club, obviously, the team was a lot lower. So now we've brought in Sancho, Varane, Ronaldo. The expectations have shot up. Therefore, Ole and the coaching staff are like, well, let's put our chest out, play out the back, play a high line, let's control games. Last season, the main priority was a lot more counter-attacking, and there was a lot more let's make sure we're solid at the back.
Yeah.
And we were solid at the back. I know we had some dodgy games towards the end, and that skewed the kind of goals conceded stats and stuff like that. But on the majority of the whole, we were keeping a lot of clean sheets. We were solid at the back. So I think it was easier for him, but the expectations have changed now. But Arsenal now, compared to last season, I watched them today. To be fair, I haven't watched them much this season, but the cohesion of the structure of play is it's really good. The way they play out from the back, Ramsdale, what a keeper! His distribution is unreal. I was shocked when I saw his distribution because plenty of keepers can
saves he made in that game as well.
Although he did it. He made that error.
Let's not talk about.
He came out and Josh King, the idiot. Yeah. What is he doing? Trying to see? He's I don't know if you saw Chima, but he's on the goal line. On parallel to the goal.
There's one person who's a master of that. And the guy has retired and is back in Nigeria at the moment. If you know who that guy is, you know who he is. That's Kanu. Do you remember the goal he scored against Chelsea?
Yeah.
That was what he tried to pull off. You know what I mean?
But also as well is Gabriel and Ben White, and I think Arsenal struggle with this a lot. Is they're so comfortable on the ball and they're so they've got no errors in them. Well, a lot less errors than centre backs they've had previously with Mustafi and David Luiz.
Yeah,
so there's so much more. They're just so much more I feel like that echoes confidence around the team as well. And the midfielders in front of them today, I don't know who played today, but they were solid again. They've received the ball, played the ball progressively and confidently, and they showed for the ball, unlike a certain other flipping fraudulent team in Manchester.
Going slightly into United now, do you think those players like you've listed are actually playing for the manager, or do you think those guys are fed up as well, or trying to just get rid of the manager?
I think there'll be certain divides in the group, clearly, because I feel like some of the foreign players like Pogba and certain other players are kind of getting sick of it. But I do think on the general whole, they are trying to play for him. Like you saw both Atalanta games. If a team's not playing for the manager, right, they don't come back from 2-0 down. You know what I mean? And Atalanta away as well. We were horrible, but we found a way. So I think what it is, it's a bit of they're kind of sick of basic and primitive ideas that are being forced through their heads on the daily, and that's showing on the pitch.
As well, you've got to put it into context as well. I mean, I know they've lost horrendously to Liverpool, but it is Liverpool. We didn't expect them to win that.
No, no.
We
The
didn't
thing is,
expect them to win this
the thing
season.
is, a lot of people well, not a lot of people. Some people are saying that, but like, I mean, I've watched United be horrendous over like this last 8-9 years. I've never seen us lose 5-0 at home to anyone. Forget Liverpool. Like, there's no excuses.
Yeah, and Liverpool weren't even that spectacular on the day.
Yeah,
well.
exactly.
Yeah.
They didn't even get out of second gear, if I'm being honest. Like,
Yeah. I mean, did the same with City though. They just control the ball.
City, literally, that was like a training session game for them.
Yeah,
They just
that's
kept the
what it
ball.
felt like. It just felt like it felt
Oh,
like
it was
domination,
embarrassing.
but it just felt like United just couldn't get possession of the ball. Couldn't hold
They
possession.
couldn't get near the ball. They could not get near the
But
ball.
do you think that doesn't that I think that comes with the tactics. So I think Ole set this team up to defend, set this team up to not press the ball.
Well, the thing is, right? The thing is, and I was thinking it in my head, right? So you play a low block. I mean, whether that's fine or that's not, I'm not really happy with it playing a low block at home, right? But that's the plan he's come up with, yeah. When the ball gets into their area, the player's area in that low block, you've got to press the ball and be aggressive and win that ball, right? But they were so passive. The ball was going wide to like Cancelo and Bernardo Silva and Walker, and they were just letting them switch play. Both goals, the ball went wide, they switched it across, and they let the cross come into the box, and they just left the ball. Oh, it was just so frustrating.
Particularly strange when you're playing a 5-back as well, and they've got so much space out wide.
My question.
I know City overload it, but I mean, you were literally playing to stop that.
My question on that match is, what is going on? Like, at what point are you guys going to have an identity? Is when United have an identity. Because it's easy to say, oh, you guys are this, you guys are that, but what do they play? Like, it's been so long now, we don't even.
I can tell you, different like points under Solskjaer's reign, where we've played so many different ways, right? And I heard Michael Owen of all people, right? In it, right? When Jurgen Klopp came to Liverpool and they had flipping Lovren and all these horrible players, they stuck to the same way of playing. They played a high line, they pressed up and they'd score 3, but they'd concede 3. But Klopp was adamant, we're playing this way. And the players that weren't good enough were exposed and they couldn't play that way. And he got them players out and he replaced them with good players, and look where they are now, right?
I feel like
Ole is still in this.
That is one thing that I could really, really agree with Owen, as you've just said, is a case of like, you guys like need to find a way you want to start playing. Like United need to find a way they want to start playing and stick to it.
You want to find a way, but how long has it been now? How has he not found that way?
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is, right? He doesn't have testicles, he doesn't have balls, right? So when he finds a way of playing, he'll use it, and then as soon as it stops working, he'll change it instantly, right? So primarily so like what this first season Bruno came, right? For example, we played 4-2-3-1 a lot, but then in the bigger games, when we were going to soak up a bit more pressure, we played 5 at the back, right? And it worked a lot. We did it twice against Chelsea. I think we beat Chelsea 3 times that season, actually.
Yeah,
we did the double over City that way. We had a good result at Old Trafford to Liverpool playing that way as well.
You were beating all the big teams, yeah.
We were beating all the big teams that way because we were rapid on the counter, right? And then against the smaller teams, we were playing like a 4-2-3-1-ish system, right? Then come next season where Bruno's settled in, you got Cavani in, and Van der Beek's in, even though he'd never used him.
Talking about Van der Beek, gets subbed in the 80th minute. I mean,
I'll come to that. I'll come to that because I'm about to scream down this mic if we talk about Van der Beek too much. But I'll bring it up, right? Come the season after, so that's the season. That's 2019, 2020, right? Oh no, 2020, 2021.
Yeah,
right. And he plays 5 at the back, and it doesn't work. And then we've never seen that ever since. Now I'm not asking for that 5 at the back again, right? But show some testicles and believing in that system. Then he plays another way. He plays another way, and I feel like it confuses the players a bit as well. Like I know a lot of pundits, and I feel like there's a culture in football now where the top managers have to have a certain way of playing, and they have to stick with it. And I don't necessarily agree with that. I think you can be a bit adaptable, right? But this adaptable and this sort of like naive into switching your whole game plan.
One philosophy first, and then you adapt from there.
Yeah, exactly. Like a plan B and a plan C.
Exactly.
You don't have one plan, and then the tiniest crack in the plan, you scrap the whole thing, because that's what he does.
I feel like literally he's just hanging on at the moment, because him switching his formation to 3 at the back, 5 at the back, or whatnot. It's just a case of like, it's like, I don't want to lose this match. So like, I'm going
Exactly,
to throw
yeah,
everything that
100%.
I've built on for the past 3 years or whatnot. I don't know how long he's been in there. It's like, I'm just going to throw everything out of the way. And then I'm going to come with a system that protects me from like losing the game. And
Yeah.
I don't think that actually says a lot about the manager. It literally just says like, he doesn't have a clue what he's trying to do, in my opinion.
Do you know what it says?
you know?
Do you know what it says to me?
Mm.
And this is from the top to the bottom. The standards of that great club has gone in the bin, right?
Mm.
When have Man United in their history, obviously not these last few years, have been horrendous, is
8
not
years.
losing acceptable? It's not. That is not acceptable. You go and you try win every game you play. None of this 5 at the back bullshit where you just
Yeah, in the days of Ferguson, I
Hang
mean,
on.
if you were down, he'd put 5, 6 attackers on and just absolutely go for it.
it's just and then you look at the board, right?
2-0 down
You-
against
you look at
City,
the
and
board.
you just start back defending deep.
You look at the board, right?
Not only did they sit back defending, it was no intensity. Like that game could have run off for the next couple, like an extra 90 minutes, and United wouldn't have done
Nah,
anything
not
because they
close,
just
not
sat
close.
back and they just waited for City to just play around.
And you know what? You know what was? Yeah, it's I mean, I want to laugh about it. I also want to cry about it as well. Is it in many ways it was worse than Liverpool. It's just Liverpool have cutthroat, ruthless goal scorers that made it get to 5-0. Whereas City don't have that. They've got like players that chip in with goals, but they have so many of them that they can get goals. So like
Sean
Bernardo
Dyche seems to
Silva.
have that at Burnley, but
But like if City had like a Salah or a Mane, it would have easily. If they got Harry Kane and Harry Kane turned up to Old Trafford that day, it would have been 5 or 6 again.
yeah.
I feel like at the same time it was a case of City just tried to play safe. In my opinion, I felt that match
I think
was so
City were
bad.
trying to keep Ollie in the job.
Yeah, probably. In my opinion,
God.
I for some reason I felt that match was a bit flat in terms of like City just kept the ball. It was like they just kept passing it around and passing it around. I was like I felt like they needed a guy. They needed some sort of spark to it, to the way they play. Listen, beggars can be choosers. I wish my team could play the way they're playing ball.
Yeah.
I felt like they could actually have done more to like destroy Manchester United,
Yeah.
but it was a bit more like passive for them. They were like,
Do you know what it is?
Do
Do you know what it is? Especially with City, they've been hit on the counter so many times. Before yesterday, they hadn't beaten United in the league in like 2 years. They've been hit on the counter so hard and so like devastatingly.
Fateful night, champion.
Yeah.
Night where Mason Mount hit them on the counter.
Yeah.
Kai Havertz.
To be honest, what you just said makes sense, because if you think about it, the last match they played as well, they lost it because they got hit in the counter attack. So it might be the reason why they actually decided not to go all full-fledged against you guys as well.
The thing is,
There's
just so many things wrong with United, right? There is so many, like, Ollie has this thing, right, where he has favourites and he doesn't let go of them. And I think Frank Lampard had it a bit at Chelsea as well. But this is a whole new level of obsession, right? And everyone is throwing shit at, McTominay and Fred. So I don't really want to speak about that because that's nothing new. But, like, Maguire and Shaw, oh my God, they looked unbeatable last season and in the Euros, right? They have been horrible. They've been so bad where how can you not play a Tellez or a Bailly or someone else? How much worse can
Tellez played that one game, scored a goal, and then got benched again?
Oh, it's just awful. And the same thing with McTominay and Fred. There's a stat here that I've got with me, yeah? And I'm going to pose the question to you guys, and I guarantee you don't get it right. How many times do you think Fred was dribbled past in that game yesterday? Actually, not just dribbled past by Bernardo Silva. Just Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva.
Just one person. I'll probably say like 5 times.
Yeah. He was dribbled past 6 times. 6 times. How?
By one player.
By one player, yeah. And by the way, we were sat in a low block and he had men around him, and he was still dribbled past 6 times. So he's not good on the ball. He can't move the ball progressively, and he's not press proof.
You know what it reminds me of? You know what it reminds me of? I feel sorry for him in a way, because it reminds me of when you had Smalling and Phil Jones at centre back. It's like them people do not belong in that club. Phil Jones did not. He didn't deserve that.
I'm not saying that to throw shit at Fred. If you're seeing this, and this isn't a new thing, by the way, this is how shit Fred's been all season. Why is he still playing?
Mid-table player. He's a mid-table
I don't know.
player.
Why is he still playing?
For some reason, I thought Fred was like a big time player when he was playing for Shakhtar Donetsk.
Well, you know what's weird though? He starts for Brazil. So maybe there is something United aren't getting out of him.
You know
which
what I'm
wouldn't
gonna
surprise
say.
me.
What I'm gonna say is, listen. Like I said to you before, I feel like I see some things. Listen, I don't know how he's gonna pan out for you guys. I don't think he's gonna get as miserable as it was for Arsenal at some point. But what I would say is, I'm seeing some things that I saw in Arsenal. Yeah, in you guys at the moment. That's why I would say it might not be Fred that is the problem. It might be the system that he's been deployed in. Because you can argue the fact that if he was a good player, if, what you know what they say quality is permanent. I don't know how they say it. You know what I mean?
Form is temporary, class is permanent.
Exactly. Form is temporary, class is permanent. So if he was at some point a classy player, there could
there
be a
must be
situation
reason to pay
whereby
60 mil for him.
yeah, exactly.
60
It could
million.
be
Oh, God.
a scenario whereby all the players in the team are not gelling because there is a problem with the structure they're playing. Maybe they don't even understand the structure they're playing because, to be honest,
I think there's a good chance of that because they don't look like a team. They
yeah,
look like 11 people that have just gone on the pitch. They don't look
yeah,
like a unit.
yeah, it could be,
And
but
you know what
I
else as
think
well?
you're right because there's
I do think you're right.
inconsistency. It's like McTominay sometimes has brilliant games, then suddenly he
Mm.
falls off the edge of the earth.
You know
But
my
that's
issue with
not-
McTominay? My issue with McTominay, right, is he tries really hard, right, but that's not enough, right? And it's not it's not McTominay's fault, right? It's Ole's fault, right?
Exactly, yeah.
He tries really hard and he gets away with it for his crap performances because he's from the academy and he's one of us and all that malarkey, right? When you have Van der Beek, right, who's a fresh young player, hungry. He's proved it deep in the Champions League stages, by the way, which none of our squad, bar the Ronaldos and Varans, haven't done. By the way, he's proved it deep in the Champions League. We're talking semi-finals, quarter-finals, right? At a very high level, he's proven that he can receive the ball, he can move the ball forward quickly, which United never do because they constantly play McTominay and Fred. He's proven that he's press-proof. That when he's pressed tight, he's got the feet, he's got the trickery to get around him and move the ball forward. He's from an academy that is they literally breed these players to move the ball and keep possession quickly, right? And he still doesn't play. And it's got to a point so badly where he gets pity minutes, 10 minutes at the end of a game that we've been humiliated in. And he says, well, now you've got your chance now. Go and play. If I was Van der Beek, I would have told him no. I would have told him F off. Why you want me to play now? Now, after I've been here for a year and a bit now, you want me to play now? This is when you're going to give me a chance. Atalanta, we were 2-1 down. You got 4 minutes. 4 minutes in a game where McTominay and Fred were horrible. We could not get a foothold in that midfield against Atalanta, which, by the way, they had like 4 or 5 players injured. They had 2 centre-backs, they had a midfielder and centre-back, and we still could not control that game with McTominay and Fred. And Van der Beek gets 4 minutes at the end. 4 minutes. How he's still wearing that shirt? I'd be throwing my toys out the pram. I'd be going into Old Trafford and slapping Aloy across the face if I was Van der Beek.
So
and same with Matic as well.
Is it fair to say then that you don't want Ole in, or what was the conclusion?
Listen.
Yeah, I don't think it's clear enough, Seth. I think you need to.
I think we need to know.
Are you all in? Is this what we're hearing right now?
Yeah.
Listen. He's a club
Where do we
legend,
stand
right?
on this?
So I'm never going to want Old Trafford to start screaming Ollie out, right? But it is clear he's not good enough to take us to the level that we need to be. Right?
The Man U fans, instead of screaming Ollie out, they just leave the ground at 60 minutes now.
Exactly.
But the thing is, right, it was still full by the end of City, but the closest you're going to get to saying Ollie out was them singing Stretford and singing Van der Beek's name. Because they were literally screaming his name when he was coming on. That's the closest you're going to get.
Do you know when Donny van der Beek left Ajax? Those fans absolutely loved him.
Yeah,
he was phenomenal over there. Did you see the video on Sky Sports? The fans singing his name as he was leaving, and he was jumping out of the car and he was calling him away.
I still think there's something there because you can't tell me why would you buy that kind of player for that amount of money.
No, but my problem is with
Van
der Beek is he hasn't even had the chance to flop
yet.
He hasn't even had the chance.
The worst thing is, they're 100% bro. If you asked Ancelotti at Real Madrid, would you want Van der Beek in your team? He'd say, yes, please. Give me that top midfielder that's proven himself at a Champions League level. Zidane was twerking. He was going to Florent, whatever his name is, Perez's office, twerking for Van der Beek and Pogba. Both midfielders, by the way, that play for Man United. That don't play in midfield. When Pogba plays, he goes, "Oh, let me play him on the left wing because that makes sense."
This is why that's why I said it could be the system. That's why, because we all know that Pogba is such a good player when he plays for France.
And you know as well, that exactly, Mark, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to keep my calm here, right? Because this
But when you
really
stood next to
stresses
the
me out.
defensive mid in the world in N'Golo Kante.
No. But the thing is, right? I watched the last international break. No, the last international break, right? In the Nations League, they played a semi-final and a final. Pogba played against Belgium and Spain, a Belgian team that had Kevin De Bruyne in midfield, and a Spain team who still has a top midfield, right? With that 16-year-old next to him, it's like Xiaomeni or something, yeah? And he looked unbelievable, right? And you hear Neville, you hear Carragher, you hear Souness, all these guys, all these frauds that waffle all the time on TV, yeah? Pogba's too lazy to play in midfield, blah, blah, blah. You frauds over here, I want an explanation as to whenever Paul Pogba puts on a France shirt, he looks every bit as world class. He looks untouchable, yeah, in central midfield. But then when he comes to Man United, he looks awful in midfield. I have the answer for it. It's because Man United, as soon as they got Paul Pogba, never, ever, ever built that team around Paul Pogba, ever.
Yeah.
Never. You need it, and you could say maybe that why does Paul Pogba need a midfielder to be built around him, and that's a different conversation, right? But surely, as a club, if you're serious, and as a manager, you're serious, you get the best out of your players. You need a midfielder, a number 6 with legs, who's mobile, to cover for Pogba, and you'll see the benefits on Pogba. You watch Pogba when he plays for France. Yeah. Oh my God. And that's why, again, Zidane was twerking in front of the president's office asking for Paul Pogba. That's why the whole world was when he came
it's like
to
buying
United.
a world-class striker and then give him no service.
Well, that's exactly what United do as well, actually. Yeah. Ronaldo gets scraps. Ronaldo, I think, has like 9... I've got it here. 9 goals in 11 games.
Got Bruno there. Luke Shaw can put a ball in.
Pogba
literally has no support in that midfield.
Yeah, but the system doesn't create chances for Ronaldo.
Right.
Ronaldo, 9 goals. He's had 9 goals in 11 games. Sorry. I just want to mention this and we'll move on.
Yeah.
He's got 9 goals in 11 games. In 4 of them games, he's had 1 or less shots.
Wow. That is shocking.
That is shocking. That just defines it all, doesn't it? That just answers the question. But anyways, I know you've got so much to say about United, but we have to move on quickly. You need a breather. Like take a cold drink right now and just calm down a bit, Right. Quickly. We're just gonna touch on 1 or 2 other things that happened over the weekend. Quickly. It's just 1 or 2 things. So what have you guys seen over this weekend that you feel like is what putting a shout out on or like mentioning?
I think Villa sacking Dean Smith was quite shocking, to be honest. I know he's been on a bad run of form, and this is probably going to come back to United and Ole again at some point. I'm guessing, but yeah, it is shocking. But it does show the ambition from the Villa board.
That's what I was going to say.
They will not tolerate it.
That's what I'm going to say. I'm like, do you guys think Aston Villa is trying to move like a big club now?
They
are 100%.
They're trying to push themselves.
They've analysed the situation.
They made as well, and
But what I will say is, I think some of them signings are proving to be quite fraudulent. Like Buendia doesn't even look a Premier League. Buendia, funnily enough, Arsenal chased all summer. He doesn't even look like a Premier League player at this moment in time. To be honest with you.
So does that then answer the question? Like, do you guys think Arsenal would have made any profit or would have gained from like having that guy in their team?
Yeah, but you can't really say that because he's just come to the club. He needs to settle.
True.
I mean, you can't just make a judgment after 10 games.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair.
But the thing, but you would say about Buendia is he has Premier League experience. He did well for Norwich the season before last.
This is what I mean with people like Buendia, and you say about Fred. I mean, Van der Beek. They are good players. So if the manager can get that out of him, which is on the manager as well to make a player,
and that's why he's been
his maximum. Exactly. He couldn't get a tune out of him.
And you know what else as well, Villa? I know they've made good signings, but they have lost Grealish.
Yeah,
that was a massive. That was a captain, so that's a huge player for them. But look, they put the money in. It's clear they want to make Europe. They've analysed the situation. There's still plenty of time in the season. Yeah. Dean Smith was not getting the results. He wasn't getting the job done. The performances weren't good enough.
To be honest,
get out of here.
did you see their fixture list as well? Do you think that could have been like a just like a wrong time for them to be playing to like maybe they're just going through a phase? Because
Yeah.
in my opinion, I don't think it was a case of I think it was a case of they had like so many different games coming along that were not they didn't have enough time to like gel together. I don't know if maybe that's a
Yeah,
wrong
no,
A
perception
little
for me.
bit, but you look at some of the games, right? And like it's clear that Aston Villa want to make top 6 this season, yeah.
Mm,
So and they played a lot of contenders for top 6.
yeah.
They lost to Tottenham. I mean, look
Mhm.
how bad Tottenham have been, right? That's a bad loss, right? That was quite
Yeah.
early in the season, so we'll let him off for that, right? But look more recently, they got wiped by Arsenal, and
Mm,
Arsenal do look good, but
Yeah.
that's one of their main rivals in the race that they're going for, the race for Europe, right? They got
mm,
wiped by Arsenal. It wasn't even close. And
Yeah.
the
mm.
West Ham game,
I
another
feel
main
Yeah.
rival, and they look
mm.
worlds apart.
You know,
Yeah.
I just had a look at the fixtures that they had as well. It's like they had, I'll tell you what they had. They had, let me start from here. They had Chelsea. Chelsea beat them. They had
Yeah, but that's
Everton.
Chelsea, isn't it?
They won against, yeah, they won
I do
against
remember. I
Everton.
do remember the Chelsea game though.
Mhm.
They
They
played
played
well
really
in
well
that
that game.
game.
They played
Yeah,
really
they
well that
did,
game.
yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah,
So
yeah.
after that, they had United. They won against United. They
Oh,
had
God.
Spurs.
Wipe the floor with us at Old Trafford. Yeah, I do
They
remember
had
that.
Spurs. Then they had Wolves. Now I feel like the Wolves one was the one that really,
That was a
really,
must
really.
win.
That was the
Yeah.
one that destroyed.
Wasn't that the one that they were 2-0 up and they lost? They conceded like
Yeah,
3 goals last
yeah,
minute.
exactly.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
that. I think that was the one. And then they had the Arsenal, West Ham, which all these games you could see how intense the games are for them in terms of like the games they played. It's not like they play like a bottom of the league Norwich
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
Newcastle or something. They had some really really hard games there. But anyways, we'll move on. We'll leave that and just move on. Right, quickly. What are you guys thinking? What's your initial thought on like Conte being appointed as the Spurs manager? I'm gonna
I was in
start
tears.
before you guys go into this. What I'm gonna say about this is, listen, it's Tottenham. Yeah, it is Tottenham. Tottenham,
I mean,
Tottenham can have Pep Guardiola and what's his name, Jurgen Klopp, and I still wouldn't be scared of what they're gonna do because the fact is, it's not in their DNA to win trophies. What do you guys think about that?
I will say is I think you're massively underrating Antonio Conte. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I would have loved Antonio Conte at Man United to replace. I
If
think United should have done that.
if he was a United, yeah, if he was a United, it would have been a different story because United would have done bits with Conte being in a club, but Conte being in. Listen, let me put it in perspective for you. Yeah, do you know who this guy is? Mr. Jose Mourinho. I don't know if you've ever heard about that guy before. Yeah, every
Yeah.
single game, every single club is managed to win a single trophy in every single club is managed. But guess what? There's only
Yeah,
one
but
club.
Yeah,
There's
but he
only
did
one
get
club.
to a final.
He was literally on
Yeah,
the verge of
but-
winning a
but
trophy.
yeah.
and
But I'm
bagged
just
it.
saying. I'm
Like,
just
and you
saying.
know, it's Jose, bro. He was winning that trophy. There's no way. He was
Well, they were playing against City. I don't know if it's a done deal.
I mean, it's
All I'm
just,
just gonna
it's just,
say.
it's just a special
I
one.
think
though,
in
innit?
terms of he is, yeah. But you know what I will say, right? Is
Mm,
there's many things you can tell from this appointment, yeah. So obviously, I don't think they'll do well this season because the squad's horrendous, right? It's awful.
Yeah,
And you saw today they didn't even have a shot on target against Everton
Mm.
in Conte's debut, where all the players are going to be up for it. They need to prove themselves, isn't it? But I think Conte will definitely have been promised money. 100%. He would not have signed on without
Yeah.
a promise of money. And
I
I'm
mean,
not
then
going to lie.
again, though, but Daniel Levy's promised other people things. He hasn't followed
True.
through.
But I think Conte is such a psychopath, right?
He
And
just
you've seen
walks.
it where he'll just walk exactly,
Yeah,
right? So, and
he'll
I
just
think Livy, he would have made that clear that if I don't get this money that you promised me, I'm just
Yeah.
literally
This is
going to
he'll just
why.
walk,
This is
yeah.
why I
Yeah.
said to you guys, it's as simple as this. Yeah. No matter how you guys are saying, like, oh yeah, boy, Mourinho got to a final. Yes, Mourinho got to a final, but did he win it? It's in the DNA of that football club
Yeah,
to
to be
mess
fair,
it up for
Oh,
themselves.
I understand that, but
they
It
might
is
not
it.
win a trophy. They might not win a trophy, but in the league, in terms of a top 6 challenge, they're right up there again. You have
Yeah.
to say
yeah,
that
they
they're
are.
right up
They
there
are.
again.
Anyways,
They're right up there again.
we'll come back to that another time. We'll come back to that. What is your opinion about Newcastle? Just quickly, in terms of like, do you guys think there's a way back for them because they're currently bottom of the league at the moment? Do you guys think there's like
Have they actually
an
appointed
escape?
Eddie Howe yet? Is that
Well,
100%?
what I've heard of Eddie Howe is that apparently it looked a done deal, but there's been some breakdown in negotiations because the Newcastle consortium, the Saudi consortium, they've got this obsession with the current backroom staff at the moment that are at Newcastle, and Eddie Howe wants obviously his staff that he had at Bournemouth. So I mean, I don't know what's going on with that now. It looks a bit in danger, but even if they get him,
how Newcastle are moving, because you sack Steve Bruce. Obviously, the interim takes over, but you'd think they had something in mind. They had it. You'd think they had it on a plate before they sacked him, but they just got rid of him and.
Well, I think Steve Bruce was so bad.
You know what I mean?
They couldn't afford to wait to devise a plan before getting rid of Bruce. But they did try loads of options. They tried Emery. I think they even asked Conte, I think, as well, actually, and Zidane, which is quite brave of them. But I must say, I think they're in real danger of relegation. And if anything, I hope they do get relegated. Let's delay their dominance, their inevitable dominance, as much as possible.
I mean, it is kind of funny though, because like they're going for Eddie Howe, and Eddie Howe just got a couple of seasons ago got Bournemouth relegated and walked out of that job.
Yeah,
but it's like,
to be fair,
it's a bit of a.
To be fair though, Eddie Howe he brought them all the way up from the conference. I think he got like 3-4 promotions. And at Bournemouth,
he did though.
But
if you want a guy to save your club, and it's a guy who's just who's coming off the back of relegating another team.
But I think the thing with this next appointment is
you can't just get Allardyce. I'm not saying Eddie Howe's a bad man.
You can't just get like an Allardyce and keep them up. I think you need someone to keep them up and also take them to the next phase of their club of being like, take them to like a European level, which I think Eddie Howe can do because he's going to get loads of money. He plays good football, plays attractive football.
I think what's going to happen is, I mean, it's debatable whether they're going to stay up or not, which is the first issue they've got.
Yeah.
But if they can't stay up, even if Eddie Howe gets some money, I think what will end up happening is Eddie Howe will take him to, similar to Ole actually, he'll take him to, I mean, Ole obviously took him higher, but I'm on about in the same sort of perspective. He'll take him to a certain point, and then it'll come to that point where a world-class manager needs to step in.
That's why Emery hasn't taken that job.
Yeah. Speaking about stepping in, I
think Emery knows. Yeah.
Speaking about stepping in, I'm gonna step into the conversation now, and try to bring it to a conclusion. Yeah, it's been fantastic having both of you here with us, but we have to start wrapping it up right now. But before we go, I'm going to ask you guys, each and every one of us has to decide the 3-in-3 football person of the week. Just tell me who you think deserves to have the football person of the week, in your opinion. Seth, who do you think deserves this for this weekend?
Like just player or managers as well?
Just player and manager. What do you think?
I mean, Cancelo's got to be up there.
Yes. Oh, wow. Yeah, he had a great performance. It's just so lucky, like I didn't have him in my fantasy team this week.
Yeah, I'd probably go with Cancelo or one of them.
Yeah, I personally would go for Moyes. I would go for.
Moyes. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. David Moyes.
Yeah.
I changed my answer. Yeah, David Moyes. What a guy.
Yeah,
what a guy.
I know. Do you think United is regretting not having him still?
No.
I mean, did he deserve more time? Yes, but I mean, think.
To be honest, I don't think he did. To be honest, I think it was clear.
It was so early.
8 months. It was early, but I think it was clear that he can't manage a club that size.
I think he took 10 years off his life as well.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I heard a lot from Rio Ferdinand. Like I speak to him personally, but like what he said on BT Sport was like he doesn't delegate. He tries to, he's like hands on with every section of the club, and obviously you can do that at like a West Ham or an Everton, but at Man United, where it's such a big, like colossal of a club, that's just not possible.
Yeah. Do you think there's any route back then for him in terms of like, would you guys take him back?
No.
What do you think? Do you think there's like a big club waiting for him? Do you think he's going to manage like a Newcastle? Or do you think he's going to be a perfect fit for like a Newcastle?
You know, the thing is, I don't think his football's progressive enough to play that type of like to manage at that level of a club. I think he's found his level at West Ham, Europa League level.
I mean, he was doing that with Everton. He was doing that with Everton, though. Exactly. Where he's with West Ham. He's taken the team there. He's brought them to a certain level, and like we say, a world-class manager would take it to the next level, but obviously not on the case like that. But he's a great manager for those types of clubs that want to compete in Europe, who are just outside of it or mid-table, and he can bring them up.
Anyways, so thank you so much, guys, once again. I think it's about time to head over now, and but yeah, we would be back again at some point. This is the first episode, just like we said at the beginning. But it was nice having you guys, and it's a nice, healthy conversation going on at the moment. So let's hope it continues like this, and the clubs, all the clubs that we do support, start to progress.
Bar us.
Bar United and Chelsea.